Demilitarization, Putin style. The bunker strategist will buy Ukraine 10 squadrons of modern fighter jets with Russian money. 10 squadrons of modern fighter jets. Demilitarization, Ukrainian style. Our soldiers stopped the mass breakthrough of the occupiers, and Ukrainian armed forces robots captured Russian soldiers who had soiled themselves. Nasty little Putin, seriously hurting. The diagnosis is made by psychiatrists. Dmitry Medvedev has gone off the rails again and lashed out at the USA. Trump grins ominously and teases surprises for the Kremlin. The sly Solovyov got caught by the tail. The propagandist arranged a cushy job for his secret lover. And the Shaman faces jail time for promoting drugs. Hello everyone, my name is Fedor Shelenko, and now we're going to discuss all the most important and high-profile news, what people are talking about in the world, in Ukraine, and of course beyond the borders of civilization. Everything that's trending. Let's get started. Ukrainian soldiers have eliminated a massive breakthrough by the occupiers in the Lyman direction. Fighters from the 3rd Army Corps destroyed an entire mechanized enemy column. First, the aggressors were hit by artillery. Then drones went to work. Most of the equipment was burned. Dozens of infantry either hit mines or were finished off by FPV drones and bombers. A new technological revolution on the battlefield was created in the USSR. Recently, ground robotic unit detachments have appeared within the 3rd Army Corps. And for the first time in the history of warfare, Ukrainian soldiers used them to capture Russians. The Washington Post described this event as a technological revolution and a new stage in the transformation of modern warfare. During the operation, the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade used a ground-based unmanned drone carrying an explosive charge, which so terrified the Russian soldiers that they soiled themselves and decided to surrender. This was the first documented case where the Ukrainian army took a position and captured prisoners using a ground drone. The commander of the unit, with the call sign, Nikolai, emphasized that the main result of the operation was that not a single Ukrainian infantryman was killed. According to journalists, the drone costs about $1,500. They are significantly cheaper than artillery and are becoming a key tool in the strategy to preserve soldiers' lives and replace personnel, in places where the risk to life is highest. Putin will buy hundreds of fighter jets for Ukraine. During his visit to Sweden, the president of Ukraine signed documents on cooperation with Stockholm in the development of the Air Force fleet. Volodymyr Zelensky noted that thanks to this agreement, Ukraine will receive as many as 10 squadrons of modern Swedish fighter jets. Gripen. We're talking about 120 to 150 combat aircraft of the E-series. One fighter jet of this model costs about $85 million. The entire order will cost almost $10 billion. And what's most interesting is that this huge sum will be paid to Sweden not by Ukraine, but by Russia. According to Swedish Defense Minister Paul Jonsson, Stockholm wants to receive payment for the hundreds of fighter jets from the frozen assets of the terrorist federation. Well, what can I say? Demilitarization, Putin style, is going according to plan. I want to say that the special military operation is proceeding strictly on schedule, according to plan. Meanwhile, in the swamps, they continue to tremble with fear at the thought of supplying Ukraine Tomahawks. How does the Kremlin act in such situations? It throws around loud statements and empty threats. The bunker moth has started threatening the US and Europe with staggering consequences. Escalation, but only if such weapons are used to strike Russian territory. The response will be very serious, if not outright staggering. Let them think about that. In general, the bunker Tsar is turning more and more into a global laughingstock. His senility is getting worse, and the orderlies still haven't come. My husband has delirium tremens. He's attacking people. In his response to the new sanctions from Trump and the European Union, there are clinical signs of split personality in Putin. In a single sentence, the Kremlin elder first admitted that the new US sanctions against Rosneft and Lukoil are serious in nature and will have significant consequences for Russia. And then, with a straight face, he immediately claimed that they would not affect the country's economic well-being or the oil giants themselves. Delirium tremens, a typical case. And there's even more material here for psychiatrists. Regarding the 19th package of EU sanctions, which among other things includes a ban on selling to Russia, bathtubs, sinks, bidets, toilet tanks and toilets, the nasty duckling tried to make a joke. Of course, as always, it fell flat, and he mixed up import with export. The fact that they stopped buying our toilets will cost them dearly. I think, in fact, they would have needed them, given the current situation. The fact that Grandpa is concerned about the comfort of restrooms is, in principle, logical. Although why he personally cares about it is unclear. After all, the old man has long been using a suitcase. But if we return to the serious sanctions that the head of state should actually be worried about, then the European Union hit 45 companies at once that support the Russian military and industrial complex. The sanctions list includes enterprises from third countries that help circumvent export restrictions and obtain dual-use technologies. There are bans on the import of liquefied gas and on transactions with major Russian oil companies. The restrictions also cover the financial sector and cryptocurrency services, which are used to bypass sanctions. Trump knows how to joke too. He subtly put Putin in his place in response to the bunker dictator's claim that sanctions are actually beneficial for Russia, including the latest ones imposed by the Americans against the Russian oil industry. The US president sarcastically remarked, he said, "Let's see what he says and how he feels in 6 months."
Today, Putin declared that Russia is invulnerable to US sanctions. They will not affect Russia's economy. I'm glad he thinks so. That's good. Let's see what happens in 6 months.
At the same time, as reported by the Wall Street Journal, so far Trump has not chosen the toughest option for sanctions against Russia. The US president was offered 3 options for sanctions against Russia, and he chose the one of medium severity. According to them, the harshest option targets Russian industry and the country's top leadership. The medium option targets Russia's energy sector. As a result, Trump imposed sanctions on Russia's 2 largest oil companies, Rosneft and Lukoil, as well as their subsidiaries. The Russian strikes on Ukraine influenced the White House chief's decision, especially the cynical terrorist attack on a kindergarten in Kharkiv. And what do you think about the American sanctions against Lukoil and Rosneft? Will they have an impact on the Kremlin? Share your thoughts in the comments, leave a like, and be sure to tell us where you're watching from. And do many of your fellow countrymen support the Ukrainian people in their fight against the Russian occupiers?
But that's not all. Let me explain.
Artificial intelligence guarding traditional values. Speaking at the Congress of the Russian Geographical Society, Putin, who still hasn't mastered smartphones or computers, started pontificating about creating artificial intelligence in Russia. The Kremlin's Führer wants that. In Russia, they have created a sovereign artificial intelligence based, don't laugh, on traditional values.
Attention should also be paid to the ergo funds by companies involved in the development and training of artificial intelligence. Only by relying on our own culture and history, linguistic richness, traditions, and traditional values, this is how we will be able to create truly sovereign artificial intelligence models rather than copying foreign solutions, which leads to both technological and ideological dependence. And that ultimately results in the loss of sovereignty.
But there's one little problem. Intelligence, whether artificial or human, doesn't mesh at all with Russian traditional values. And so, most likely, Russia will create the world's first artificial propagandist. After all, Solovyov and Skabiva won't be around forever.
So now the whole world is laughing at us? Now they're laughing?
The beaten can't rest easy. Al-Qadiman has declared war on Donald Trump. Putler's temporary placeholder in the president's chair was torn apart due to the cancellation of the Putin-Trump meeting in Budapest and the new sanctions imposed by the US president against Russia.
If any of the numerous commentators still had any illusions left, here you go. The US is our adversary, and their talkative peacemaker has now fully embarked on the path of war with Russia. Yes, for now, he isn't always actively fighting on the side of Banderite Kiev, but this is now his conflict, not the senile Biden's. Of course, people will say that he had no other choice, that he was pressured in Congress and elsewhere. But that doesn't change the main point. The decisions that have been made are an act of war against Russia, and now Trump is fully in solidarity with a deranged Europe.
The US is the enemy. These are pointless deals in Trump's war, not Biden's. Medvedev touched on all the sore spots of the US president. What do you think? Will there be any response from the head of the White House? Will the Kremlin jester regret his words? Write your thoughts in the comments.
He should be smart. What else? Well, all the best qualities there are. In a Bebelov way.
Russian traditional values in all their glory. You'd think we'd already hit rock bottom, but the Russian Orthodox Church knocked from below. An FSB agent in a cassock suggests that women during their periods should go to hell.
What if a woman is in a bad mood because of her period, that it would be better for her to be in a different room altogether? Somewhere so as not to
Oh, well, hell.
Well, basically... Or something like that. So as not to ruin a man's mood.
Yeah, but they don't do that.
What do you think about this?
What do I think? That women, when they have their period, they just can't. At that moment, honestly, they can't control themselves. She can, if she loves her husband or her family, she can let them know about it in advance. Before it even starts, she can say, like, guys, in 2 days, you're all doomed.
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now.
Judging by the latest statements from the ROC representatives, they've already defeated all the gays, lesbians and transgender people in Russia. And now, the new internal enemy that the whole country needs to fight against has been declared to be women. The secret life of Putin's main mouthpiece. Propagandist Solovyov left his official wife and got his secret lover a job at a manufacturing company. His talk show? Thanks to this gift from her lover, the woman's savings grew tenfold over the years of the war. Investigative journalists from the We Can Explain project? They found out, despite the fact that since 2001, the propagandist has been married to Elga Sepp, the daughter of the famous satirist Viktor Koklyushkin. His current significant other is the basketball player Svetlana Obrosimova. And what do you think? Why did Obrosimova fall in love with Solovyov? Well, it's obviously not for his athletic achievements.
That is, quietly, calmly, not taking off, but right from here immediately, without any shoulder involved. But inside, he pulled himself together.
And to go quietly, calmly.
Since 2022, Abrosimova has been working at M Production, the company that produces the talk show Evening with Vladimir Solovyov, as well as programs for the Solovyov Live TV channel. According to tax records, Abrosimova does not work anywhere else. At the same time, over the past 3 years, she managed to increase the amount of her bank deposit tenfold. If in 2021, her deposit account at Sberbank held only 8 million rubles, by 2024, this amount had grown to 86 million. That is, it exceeded $1 million. Before the start of the full-scale war, this propagandist love couple regularly vacationed in the much-hated NATO countries. First, the husband would tell Russians about turning Europe into nuclear ashes, and then, together with his lover, he would get on a plane and fly off to vacation in Italy. Moreover, Solovyov and Abrosimova have 2 daughters. Where do you think Abrosimova gave birth to them? That's right, in the USA. The propagandist's children are essentially enemies since they have US citizenship.
You have to hit hard, go all in, play your trump cards. With trump cards.
Hit whom?
The enemy?
Specifically.
Please.
Well, specifically.
Brussels, Berlin, and Paris.
Listening to Shaman and going crazy over some of his songs, so you use drugs. And that's not my claim, but the artist Putinist's own words, who, when meeting his fans, the first thing he asked was whether they used any illegal substances. Crazy grandpas and grannies strike another blow to common sense. The grannies from Putin's squads are just as insane as their idol. Recently, a Twilight remake appeared online. Be careful, it's so cringe you might end up facepalming yourself into oblivion.
Did you stop the car? Is that a superpower?
It's Avtovaz. The car didn't even make it.
I know who you are.
Please say it.
You're a vampire.
Please say it louder.
You're a vampire.
Louder. Oh man, I forgot my hearing aid today, unfortunately.
Jacob, if we have a battle with the Volturi, whose side are you on? I
support Putin.
It's already scary to imagine what masterpieces we'll be able to witness when Putin's squads start using that very same traditional artificial intelligence.
Why are you glowing like that?
They indexed my pension.
Do you have a superpower? That's strange. I got a message in Max, but I never installed it. Dad, but good is supposed to triumph over evil.
Oleg Mongol is going to be a father. Evil has already won.
There's no connection, but hang in there. In Penza, the Minister of Communications couldn't do a broadcast about internet quality because of poor internet. The official was going to tell Russians about problems with connectivity and Wi-Fi, but the broadcast on Telegram and vKontakte started late and lasted only a couple of minutes before it completely cut off. As they say, it's better to show once than to hear 100 times.
Miscalculated. But where?
Finally, an unusual story from Kislovodsk. There, unknown masked riders put on a wild show right in the city center. When an elderly couple reprimanded them for riding on the lawn, the masked men began to threaten them and then attacked. They whipped the pensioners and drove their horses at them. It's the 21st century, and yet it seems the times of feudal lords with punitive cavalry are confidently returning to the Russian hinterlands.
That's exactly what doctors do. Come on, Goose, keep filming. Well, show your face. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? He can't. He can't even calmly put on socks, pants, or underwear. Show your face, hero. Show your face. Show it, show it. Put the camera away. Yeah, right now. I'm confronting you man to man. Yeah, the real man. I'll send you straight to the police. Yeah. Keep swearing. Go on, swear some more. Say something with a curse word. Come on, say something else with a curse word. Say something else with a curse word. Yeah, fuck off. Good job, keep going. Come on, more. Fuck you. You're some kind of outsider. Try it. Go ahead, try it. Try it. The woman friend. Go on, try it. Men from Kislovodsk live here, got it? There aren't people like you in Kislovodsk. If you're a man, you're an outsider bastard.
Yeah.